Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. So in the last episode we finished off our scrapping facility over here, and that kind of gives us, I think, everything we need from a waste perspective. Steel, aluminum, waste treatment we do have, the incinerators we have available. The one thing we don't do is we don't scrap vehicles just yet, so that's one of the things that we might be interested in getting there. Scrap separation as opposed to general separation. That's quite an interesting one. So what does that actually give you as an output? So that gives you, okay, let's have a quick look here. So if we say, oh, it's got a 98% efficiency, where this one only has a 87% metal scrap efficiency. And what do we have here? Aluminum separation. So we could probably improve the amount of metal scrap that we get, but then at the cost of getting construction waste and construction waste and plastics out of it? Or do we run it again? Do we run it from this one into one of these scrap separation facilities to get even more out of it? But ultimately, if we're then burning it, we would find it. Like as we found in this one here, this is almost full, so we do need to make a bit of a change here. What is this guy doing? Why is it... Why are we line spacing this? Yeah, we really don't need to line space this. So let's just do that and say, yeah, do we need to save it at all? Let's just do that. So maybe line spacing is no longer going to be an issue. So hopefully it'll start moving a little bit quicker. So interesting thing here, at the end of this, when all of this ash dissipated, we ended up with a ton of metal scrap, which I need to kind of somehow move out of here. So what we'll probably need to do is get an open vehicle of sorts. Actually, it's not an open vehicle. So metal scrap can actually be driven around in one of these guys, right? These are empty. They only do mixed waste? No, they can do something else, right? They can definitely use... Or, oh, it's a dumper. It might be a dumper. Hang on. Let's find ourselves a dumper. Somewhere here needs to be a dumper, right? Quickly find one. There's one there. So metal scrap should be in here. So we need a dumper to quickly move a little bit of metal scrap from one spot to another. So what I might do, I might grab this dumper, move it to this facility over here. Okay, and then it'll start moving. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, come on over here and load up on metal scrap for us, please. And what you will then do is you will come and dump it over here for me, please. Unload the metal scrap for me in this location. Good. So let's, and then we'll say, there you go. So now it'll actually go ahead and go and do that. So it'll bring that metal scrap over from that spot to here. And then we can reallocate this guy to go and dump some stuff over there, because at the moment this is obviously dissipating as well. It's only ash. So I think we've got our waste separation and management facilities in a pretty good place. We could maybe squeeze a little bit more aluminum and steel out of it if we were to expand into dedicated separation facilities for steel, or let's say construction well, if we were to branch out into dedicated facilities for scrap, which was steel recycling, which is the one I can't remember. Scrap separation facilities, dedicated scrap separation and aluminum separation facilities. Yeah, so we could do a little bit more from that if we had that one in place. These guys are driving tediously slow, so maybe what I should do is actually speed things up a little bit. And our money is looking quite healthy, and we can go from there. Let's just quickly see, micromanage this guy a little bit, see how that goes. No, you can't load it. Really? Metal scrap. You have to be able to load metal scrap, right? Let's try it again. That's unfortunate. How can we not have this? How can we not get this guy to load it? It doesn't want to load the metal scrap? Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, if that's the case, if it really doesn't want to load it, let's move this guy over, bring him back to where we had him, clear all of those other tasks. So really what we're saying is this guy is gonna go and dump this in here, and what we can do is we can certainly clear out those items. What I thought I'd do is I'll send it over here and we'll say load the metal scrap there and then come and dump the metal scrap over on this way. Okay, so a dumper is not going to do it. That's interesting. So let's see about that. Is this guy gonna, we will have to get it to wait until it's unloaded though. So it's going to do that. It still has 1.8 tons, so it needs to kind of dissipate a little bit, right? Which I believe it does do over time. Yeah, slowly. Okay, let's leave it there for a second so it kind of does its thing. This is enough room to kind of fill up over time. Okay, let's head on over to our new area and just see what's going on there. Did we have... Oh, research was done. Let's see what else we can do. Ooh, that's a little track builder. Now, research is done, so now we can do the nuclear power plant project. I'm definitely keen on doing that. So let's get that underway. We'll get these guys to do their thing. And then I'll just go ahead and clear all of these messages. Money is looking pretty good. Okay, good. Something that I did think about is because we're a little bit constrained in terms of space on this side, I was kind of thinking what we can do is probably run slightly improved facilities over here. So let's do that. I would like to just clear those out a little bit. And similarly, I'll clear out all of these and we'll redo that. Just wanted to have a bit of a look over here. Are we busy building some stuff at a reasonable pace? I think we are at the moment. Well, we've got a lot of workers in here, and we're going to finish that one off in just a minute. We're actually building the wrong kind of stuff over here. This guy, on the other hand, has a need for some workers, so we do need some more workers over here. Anyway, and this is set at the higher priority, right? Yeah, this is high priority, but somehow it's not actually getting a reasonable priority. This is going to be finished in just a minute. So that's our shopping center ready to go. There we go, ready for action. Interesting that it's kind of connecting it like so. Looks a pretty reasonable building size there. The other bits and pieces are still under construction, working along nicely. Good. Okay. Now, what did I have in mind? Let's quickly extend the. And I think what I'll do is I will go ahead and just batch construct some of these just so that they're activated, really, so that I don't have to worry about them constantly. So what I do want to do is just grab the wood base here, which I will actually never really use, I think. And if we provide a little bit more room there. The idea is really that we would like to run probably about 300 meter trains here. Well, or 300 meters of space. Okay, so if we were to do that, let's look at what this can do and how it will work with regards to our access road. So we may have to just keep an eye on that. So this seems to be a pretty reasonable way of doing it. And then the plan is really to try and smoothly connect it over here. Probably a little bit more. And we would do something like that. Though, what that does mean is we don't really have a way of bringing in trains from this direction. So there's not enough room to do that. The first place where we could potentially consider doing that is here, and that's not going to be a reasonable size unless, of course, we just say we're going to provide a little bit of extra room there. That's our 300 meters there, and you will just have to come in from that side. Actually, I'm a little bit intrigued. I could do 2 that comes in from this side and 4 that comes in from the other side. Maybe that is a good plan for us. So instead of tying that one in over there, let's do that. And we say, what would it look like if we were to tie in this one? Yeah, that's good. And at the same time, so now it's not as major, okay? And what we'll do is we'll trim back these 2 and try and maximize that area there. Similarly, we may do another here and run that one in there. So now we've got 2 coming in from that side. And then, of course, what we'll need to do is find a way of getting this to go back into the opposite direction. So what we will need to do is probably do a little something like this, nice and straight like so, turning it in like that, and we say you will be heading back into that direction over there, or you'll be heading into this direction over here. So it's not a super clean cut operation here, but at least do we... I think we do need a little bit of this. There we go. Similarly, we'll do something like that. Get that to tie in over here. Do that. So there we go. So now we've got a pretty reasonable area here. Do that, and the last one is just something like that, and tie it in over there. So there we go. So now we've got a pretty good spot. We've got enough room in there, I think, to get it out of the way and then funnel it into one of those. And similarly, we have room for like 2 trains on this side. So it looks pretty good. I might trim this one back and cross there and there. Yeah, that I think is pretty reasonable. So I'll have to do that. See how that works for us. And similarly, well, this one might actually be able to go across over there and tie in on that side. But that's a much better setup, I think. And I think it's gonna look pretty cool too in this area. And it shouldn't bother this too much. Not that this is a main line. This is a spur in its own right. So I'm not too bothered by that. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and not fund it. It's extremely expensive. So I'll just do that. I can't believe it's that pricey to build the rail connections, but we'll have to see how we tie it in over here. But I think that's a pretty reasonable spot. What I'll do is grab our road here, trim it back a little bit. I believe we should be able to run it across there, right? I believe that will work. Yeah, so something like that I think is pretty good. Now we've got a crossing there and a crossing here. This is obviously would ultimately be the busier of the 2 crossings, and we're not crossing on that side. Similarly, I would like to be able to cross over there. Excellent, so that's good, and we'll provide that crossing point on that side. So now we're kind of trying to manage our access points just a little bit better in this area. Kind of happy to kind of switch this on as long as okay, let's just see. What I thought I might do is do a little something like this, and then make sure we run it up into that area, do a bit of this, do a bit of that, and do a bit of this one. We don't have any workers in this location just yet, and so one of the things I might do is just add a bus stop over here. So let's clear that out, get ourselves a little bit of a bus stop. I think something like that should be okay. We should be able to tie that in quite nicely. There we go, and there we go. Nice little bus stop in that location. Now, what I will do is I will activate this so that it kind of starts looking a little bit more similar. I'll pause the game while I activate it, and at the same time, I will say, please suspend construction there. And please suspend construction there so that they don't get into sorting all of that stuff out. What I will also do is I'll go in here and activate those. And I think then everything is kind of ready to go, apart from we need road connections in there, and in there. This one doesn't need anything else. All of that has road connections everywhere. Good stuff. So now everybody has a road connection. I can go ahead and do that. Won't get built because this area is suspended for construction. Oh, actually, suspend construction here. Did I not suspend construction? Oh, it restarted it for some reason. Presumably they won't end up building it now. Okay, so that's kind of the setup for our coal mining and even our coal processing. Look at these money numbers. These money numbers are quite useful. Now, let's go back and see if we manage to clear out our... yeah, we've cleared this out. Presumably it's done its thing through here. And now we've got a guy that's trying to unload some stuff in this area. So let's cut that out. We're not going to need that anymore. Instead, what I would like you to do is go and dump it over there. So go and unload your mixed waste. Wait until it's unloaded in that location. We're not going to load anything there. And what we'll do is we will clear that one out. And so now it'll move along, go that way, and this will slowly dissipate over time. So now we have the ability to wait for that one. And presumably this one will very similarly also provide us with some metal scrap at the end of that period. Okay, there we go. Money is looking pretty good. How are our various construction projects? Do we have people living everywhere? We already have people moving in. Some people are complaining about access to pubs and spirituality as per usual, but generally it's looking pretty good. People are, for the most part, pretty happy. I'm not able to really sort out our crime beyond what I've done at the moment. I don't quite know why crime is still being seen as an issue. I think we're managing it pretty well, actually. We don't even have that many prisoners over here. Prison security is pretty good. We don't see any escapes. The things are overall pretty reasonable. Oh, and these things have all been built? Oh, I love it. I love it. We've managed to get all of this stuff done. All of this stuff done. My goodness, that's what can be pretty cool, actually. So I'm kind of tempted to start our track construction over here. What is this? I have no idea. This seems to be a wooden... Yeah, it seems to be wooden stuff. So a limited amount of steel, gravel, and the like. So I'm kind of wondering whether we drive in a few of these different things. So we'll definitely need steel here. We won't need aluminum. So let's get that out of the way. I believe we'll need... Okay, hang on. Let's just park that down and see. So we need bricks, prefabs, boards, and steel in this area. So that's the plan. So here we will go in here and say we need 25 steel. We need 0 aluminum. We need probably more of this. 25 there. 25 there. And I believe we need less boards. But, oh, well, that's 0. Then boards we need like, what, 10, 15? Let's go with 15 for the moment. Actually, we can go 25. Let's just go with 25 as a starting point. I think that's going to be okay. And 0 of this and 0 of that. So that at least gives us a good little starting point there. Okay, now we do need to fill these things up over time. This is doing reasonably well and keeping our tourists nice and healthy. What do we need on these things? We need electronics. Is that it? We only need electronics? Really? We only need electronics? And probably we don't need electronics to start with, but we do need fuel. So we do need that. And what we also need here is gravel. So let's store some gravel in this spot. And what we can do is start, at the very least, running some gravel in, right? Do we have... Who's running gravel for us? Someone, somewhere, should be running gravel. Someone, somewhere, should be running gravel. Termoilski Imports has a few dumpers there. It's running gravel from where? No. Should be running gravel from somewhere, right? Truck aggregate loading facility. There we go. And do we have room for another spot? We do. So let's pop this one in on this side and just start bringing in a little bit of gravel. So bring that all the way down. We would like to unload over this spot here. We'll go to about 50%, which will be 500 tons of gravel. So immediately those import guys is not actually doing. They're not actually ready to go here. But, and do we have room for another? Maybe we'll get another dumper. Let's grab ourselves one more of those fancy dumpers. Oh, look at this Mark P cement carrier. Cisterns. Yeah, they're not really much better, are they? Mark P flatbed. It's pretty good. We should have a dumper, shouldn't we? Do we not have a dumper? I need to have a look at that. I'm just parking that for a second. I've paused it. So we have a dumper. So let's grab me one more of these dumpers and we'll see how that goes. Now, where is this? The Molsky School Small. Excellent. That should be sorted out fairly quickly, right? Oh, the vehicle's already here, is it? Why is this still burning? Fire truck Squall is heading this way. Oh, it's not here yet. Here it comes. Get in there and out. Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff, everybody. Good work. Let's clear all of that. How is our research going? Almost done here with the nuclear plant project, power plant project. These guys have been researching non-stop and is getting us where we need to go. Once we get a few things allocated here. Oh, we do need to get someone allocated to start dropping some stuff off on this side. That one is done, so our research should be concluded here. Let's make a start on the airport study. That's fine. Excellent. That's awesome. So now we're practically through our technical research. What's going on here with regards to tourists? Tourists are looking pretty good, actually. Ooh, we may even need to expand it a little bit. Make sure we have room for more tourists. That's good. Excellent. That's great. I love seeing that. And I still think this guy is doing a reasonable job at maintaining a little bit of the stuff there. Ooh, tunnel bore machine is ready to go. Now, we will slowly start to see gravel arrive here. I'm sure of that. What we will need to do is find a way of getting some of this stuff allocated. Now, I believe we are... Do we have... I'm tempted, right? I'm really tempted to connect this one up on this side and build another distribution office here so that we can get a localized distribution office going. So let me stop that one there. Let's go straight up here for a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and tie that in. Let's go straight up a little bit more and then we'll tie that in. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's get that underway. We'll get these guys to start working on it. And now we also want a distribution office in this area. Something that's pretty large. 28 tons. It takes a lot of steel, these things. 8 vehicles, 15 vehicles. We'll just get the big 15 vehicle one in place here. We're not blocking off anything right there, are we? Not really. Yeah, I think that's probably a good spot, and we still have room to place something else in here should we need to, because this area down here will still be accessible from the bus station should we sort out our things a little bit. So we'll get the guys to slowly start on that piece of construction there so that we can get distribution offices to run some of our key stuff in here. Oh, it's been already dropping gravel, and that's why kind of the issue is here. We do need to bring fuel in also. So let's just make sure to assign fuel. But yeah, bring in the fuel. We need, oh, that's almost nothing. Just bring in the fuel, 2 truckloads of fuel. That should help us out a little bit. Now, let's have a quick look here at our various items here. Did we have any police issues? Not that I can see in this area. Ooh, another track builder ready to go. So we really need to start building some tracks, I think. And we still have some minor issues there and serious crime every now and again. At the shopping center, of all places, we seem to have serious crimes. This is our general overall happiness. It's a little lower down here. That is the lowest, isn't it? 79% over here. What are you missing? Kindergarten? Interesting. A little bit of criminality in this building. Okay, that's fine. And then if we go government loyalty. Wow, it's looking pretty good government loyalty-wise. We might be able to start work on a TV station. Ooh, that's pretty good there too. Everybody's pretty happy. I'm quite happy with that. Alcohol addictions. Yeah, reasonable. It's a little bit lower down here. And then culture. Ooh, these guys are quite happy. It's because they're right next to this guy. I would say generally pretty good. The tourists, on the other hand, seems to be struggling a little bit. Maybe there's a need for another cultural building in this location. Might make a start on that. How is sports for us? We don't have any access to sports. Or, well, we do have the pool. So maybe it's just not quite meeting their high standards just yet. We certainly don't have any of that. And then the clothing quality is pretty good all over. So really, maybe a cultural and sports facility on this side might help us out a little bit. Though, we do need to make sure that we have workers able to access this facility here. Where is this building? The Molsky Electric Substation. That's okay. So some of the buildings will go without power for a little while until we get that sorted out. Lots of workers available to go and work in a variety of different places. Let's see if we are getting what we want in terms of workers. How's this going? Ooh, that's pretty good. Seeing a fair number of workers in there. That's filling up quite nicely. This is doing its thing. Oh, look at that. We can really up our game here a little bit more. We need more workers to come into this facility here. You know what I might do is I might just make it a little easier to get there. So as soon as we get a few people in there. Okay, now we will pause the game while we quickly do that and that. And at the same time, I might go and just say, let's just pay for that. Perfect. So now it's much quicker to get here. And presumably that's all we need. Plenty of livestock ready to go. And we have plenty of meat as well. And would we want to put a truck on exporting meat at all? I think we may do it, but I don't know if it's really worth our while. Let's see what the meat price would look like. It's not bad. It's really not bad. If we were to sell meat, it's really not bad. Another research program is done. Okay, we'll go back and have a look at that now. Okay, what I might do is I might go ahead and buy a vehicle, a refrigerator truck, maybe even one of these guys. So if we were to say a refrigeration truck, we've got the Mark E carrying 8.4 tons and at 90 kilometers an hour, and the Mark P at 8 tons at 90 kilometers an hour, and it's a much smaller vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and buy the Mark P. 8 tons, but at least it does 90 kilometers an hour. There we go. Can we give it a nice little meaty color? Yeah, red for meat exports. Here we go. So now what I would like to do is say you would pop in over here, you would load meat and you would take it over to the border post and you will export the meat for us there. Thank you. And make a start. There we go. So now at least we're going to start seeing a little bit of the export running. This guy will be filling up some fuel as well. How's this guy doing? Still plenty of fuel available. Luckily, we're getting these guys out. There we go. Nice and loaded. Ready to roll. Doing some meat exports. I like it. Good stuff. 8 tons. And 8 tons would be how much? Yeah, it's not really a lot, but every little bit counts. And it should be pretty quick. It's got a fairly reasonably close access to the main road. Excellent, good stuff. We can also, at some point, maybe make a start on building the additional component of our road. The additional one, at least this stretch of it. Something like that. We'll do some of this. There's another bus there. We'll do that. Get this one sorted, and we will get that one over there. We'll get that one sorted, and we should be able to... Okay, that's a bit of a bummer. Okay, so up to about there. Let's get this underway. I believe if we were to come here and say... There's some of this stuff out. It might take a bit of ages to get it done, but I think we'll make a start on this. Because some of our vehicles are kind of just hanging out. Okay, so we'll do that, and what I'll do is I'll just grab a little section like that, and we'll get the guys to start running that section. Is this assigned? It is assigned. So now we'll start seeing a little bit of construction traffic heading out that way, but this is going to be top priority for us first, so let's just finish off this piece before you go and finish off the rest. Good. Good. Okay, now let's move back to our new town and see what's going on over here. This is Komoshinovsk. Need to keep hearing that. Oh, good, excellent. This is done. That's done. Why is this struggling so significantly? Or do we not have something? Missing resources, concrete, gravel, and asphalt. Really? We have dumpers here, right? You don't have... Okay, hang on. Where do we get concrete? Yeah, that's all the way over here, right? Let's just double check, because for some reason it seems to say... And gravel? Zingrad. Oh, gravel is on the other side. So it might be out of gravel. That's okay. These should work. So concrete should be fine. They should be fine. Let's just go back over. Flying back and forth. Are we out of gravel? Is that the question? We are out of gravel. That is a big part of the issue. So maybe in the short term, what we do is let's get them to drive a little bit further to go and get gravel. I think that will be a good starting point. Let's just say instead of going over there, just come and grab your gravel over here. So hopefully it's going to come over here, grab some gravel straight away, and we'll get the rest of that construction moving. Because I believe we've got everybody just going to park now. Oh, there we go. Lots of gravel going to be moved now. So yeah, this was kind of running out of gravel, it seems. Okay. We can buy more vehicles now. We definitely have a fair bit of money that's come in. And we can actually start finishing off some of these bits and pieces as well at the same time. This is out of gravel. That's part of the issue here. We've got vehicles parked here waiting on more gravel to arrive. That's fine. To be honest, I'm not too opposed to this. Is bringing in one worker. For some reason, it's bringing in workers somewhere. This is what? This is a school. We can definitely start work on that school as well. At least at the starting point, we'll have that. So we'll start seeing some of this moving. And now we can actually start doing a bit of this. Yeah, so let's get all of these things moving. That'll be fine. Oh, this was built without that one? Ooh, I don't like that. Let's try and fix that at least. Did I pause? I know I haven't paused. Yeah, that's okay. So let's just go and say, I'd like you to do that. And then at the same time, what I'll do is I'll just say, fix that little section because that's going to be tedious to build. Okay, so that should all work at least. What we will need to do is run some additional paths through here. So let's grab at least something like this. You know what I'm thinking? Is this guy... We'll need to run... in through there, and what we can do is we can tie this one in. Please don't do that. Let's just give it a slightly different angle. We'll do that, we'll do that, we'll do that. We'll do something like that, and let's just get all of that assigned. If we have gravel available, hopefully that will start moving a little bit. Do we have gravel? Now there's a little bit of gravel coming in, but we'll get that guy to fill up a little bit more before we move that assignment back over that way. Okay, all of this is done. Excellent. So now construction here can continue, and we'll get this this facility up and running. We are really going through this fairly quickly, are we? Yeah, I think so. What's the situation? Ooh, what's going on here? I think the idea here would be something like that. Excellent. And similarly, the idea there would be something like, no. We would like 3. And 2 can have a bit of a stop like so. There we go. Now, everybody moving. Everybody moving? Good. That's a better way of doing it. Excellent. There we go. Nice. How's this going? Yeah, slowly dissipating. Not seeing anything. Wow, this is getting a fair bit of ash in here. We have at least an extra facility there that we can dump stuff to if we needed to. Almost back up at 1 million, which I like. I like that a lot. The next piece of the investment puzzle for us is, we've got enough food here now. I kind of wonder whether we trim that down a little bit and make sure we have more people working this site. Yeah, more clothing is the better option for us. More clothing. Everybody here seems to be working okay, and we've got lots and lots of crops available, so that's good. We do need to start thinking about some of our other bits and pieces that we may need. Let's close this down. We can do some more research, I think. No, we're done. We're done with research. Let's have a quick look. If we go advisors and we go to the research advisor and we say have a look at that. Yep, all of that's done. All of that's done. All of that's done. We're looking pretty good. All of that. There's only the one airport study there, right? All of that is done. There's nothing further that seems to be locked behind something. We do need a few things. And this thing is something we can keep doing, I think, every now and again. Yeah, so the only thing we need is a little bit of medical research. A little bit of medical research that could help us out a little bit over time. So really, we're actually looking in a pretty good spot. It's 3 years into the game, and we've done most of the research, to say the least. Our population is looking pretty healthy, and we're still able to maintain a lot of stuff. And it is growing. It is growing rapidly. And now what we'll see is a significant amount of people actually becoming tertiary educated. And so we should be in a really good spot to start moving people to the next facility in due course. Okay, we don't have a construction train set. We still need to bring this in, but we're waiting on the construction of that distribution office to finish for us to get into that. This is not moving, not doing anything. We're not really using steel as it stands. Now, what we could start doing is planning the rest of our train a little bit. Now, if we wanted to say that is kind of the stopping and this is the through movement, what I think we need to do is slowly start to tie them back in and then running it up this way. So let's have a little bit of a look. If we were to say, we'll really not get you to cross. There we go. I'm pretty comfortable with that. Okay. Let's just park it for a second. If we were to say instead, yeah, no, we need to run. This can't be just one. Yeah. We can't just run. We need to do something like this. So let's see. Can we find something that works? That works. Come on. Okay, let's try that again. Need to try and find. There we go. So something like this, really. And then we'll need to do that. I think that's going to be okay. And what we'll do is we'll need to tie that in somehow. So this is our rail connection. Let's just see where this goes. Is that one line all the way? Okay, so we will need to give it its neighbor. So let's give it its neighbor on this side. I believe that should be okay. Give it its neighbor all the way around here. All the way through there. For the time being, I'll just run straight through here. There we go. This guy will have to move to... This guy will have to move. That one will move through there. And this one will move up here. Excellent. That is some kind of present bus. So I'm going to do that. We'll make a start with this piece. So let's kind of tie that in. Now, if we were to get, the train line in there, I think that's okay. What we will need to do is find a way of getting it in here. And potentially getting it, not just a loading facility, but also a place to drop off passengers. And we could also see about dropping off passengers to the other side. So where is this facility? Over here. I believe someone would be on the way. Excellent. Good stuff. Good. So we do need to have a bit of a look at how we're going to run our rail through this area. That's filling up nicely. That's emptying out nicely. This is burning, and we should see... Where's my firefighters? Here they come. Whoa, it's going to be touch and go, guys. Whoa. Get there. Jeez, thank goodness it didn't stop behind it. Wow, this is tight. But I believe it's going to be fine. Excellent. Good stuff. Wow, that was a little bit scary. Would have lost a lot of gravel in that size. Not that gravel is super expensive, but it would have been a little bit scary for us, I think. Waiting on some more asphalt as well. I think we should see a bit of that coming in. Should be working. Do we have construction underway over here? I think we do. Please don't tell me we've got tons of vehicles parked here. No, that seems to be a useful use of our time. Slowly getting our infrastructure moving. I like that. We do need to move these guys over there once we build it. That's fine. And this will kind of be an area that we can use to get our construction facilities going on. Now, what we can do is we can run some kind of rail connection in here somewhere to be able to drop off rail passengers in this area, though it might not be as important. If we're bringing in workers via rail to this facility, I think this area can continue to be served by buses because none of these require enormous amounts of workers. And it's kind of starting to look pretty nice. And I'm kind of thinking maybe it's about time to consider kind of fencing it off a little bit as our starter construction area here. I don't think we're building anything else in town at the moment, really. We've got nothing to repair here, even though we've got 15 people working. Let's just drop that down to 10. Not that we need any more workers. We've got a reasonable amount of workers everywhere. So this is looking pretty good. Will it have access to that facility there? It does not. It does not. Okay, so do we provide another little thing? I think so. I think we do something like this, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that under construction as well. Slowly start to move that. There's lots of people walking through this way. How's this still looking? All good in terms of numbers. Got a reasonable amounts there. And we should be doing a good load of exports at the moment. What's this dropping a little bit? Last month, 180,000. That's good. Up to 1 million now. So we're really looking good. I wouldn't mind getting our own. What is on that? What is on there? Why do we have wood there? Discard all cargo, please. Thank you. Just make sure we don't have that running around back and forth. We may have had that for quite a while. Okay, now let's So one of the things we need to plan out here is to be able to run out the oil products for export. So let's see if we were to have a quick look at the train stuff. So oil loading and unloading facilities. We don't have anything else really. So it's really only going to be just a one little facility like this. And I'm pretty keen on just maybe parking it right there. Right there, we park it, and we can run. We will need a pump, though. We'll need a pump, but that should be fine. We'll be able to get this stuff to go underground, get a pump over here, and then, yeah, potentially just park it up there. Yeah, that's okay. So let's do that then. Let's do something like this. Yeah, we're not going to unload. Well, we could, and it will be able to do that. So let's do that. Get ourselves that facility there. See about tying in our tracks here. That's okay. We'll park that like so. At the same time, we may give ourselves a little bit more room on this side, though ultimately we would want to run it, yeah, probably somewhere over there. Let's do this. Okay, if we plan out for our rail connection on that side, and what we'll do, I'm kind of tempted to run it over here to make room for that. Let's do that. I think that should be pretty reasonable. And then what we can do is we can trim this thing back and run it over here on this side. Let's do that. Let's trim that back a little. Okay, so if we go back, wow, that's a big one. Let's we're threading the needle over on this side. What I'm keen on doing is let's just run, well, let's go with the one that's going to be the most problematic and get it as close to that pylon as possible. Cross it there. There we go. So that's pretty good. That gives us a bit of room here to maneuver in the future also. And I'm kind of tempted to do a very similar thing on this side, actually. So if we were to say, run it here. Okay. And at the same time, do something like this. Yeah, I think that'll work. So I'm going to trim that back, and what we'll do is ultimately we'll run it here instead. Okay, let's move these a little bit. Okay, so let's do that. Give ourselves a little bit of room to maneuver. Oh, I actually quite like that. Giving us a fair bit of room in here. Nice, and hugging it over here. That's okay, we'll get rid of all of that. And what we'll do is, yeah, we will need to, presumably we can just run it straight over that way too. So let's trim a little bit of this back. So let's trim that back, we'll trim that back. Get rid of that, we'll run this one over here. I think if we were to do a little bit of this, there we go. I think that should be fine. We're going to tie that one in there. And then we'll run this one over here. Yeah, I like it. I like it. A much more natural curve in there, and it's a closer away from that. It's kind of leaving the top edge of the hill alone a little bit, though it is going across the hill. But I do like it. That is in a reasonable spot. We should see about what we can do in terms of, there's a bit of room here that we can use, and if we have to reallocate some of these electricity lines, we can also do that. A bit of room on this side, especially if we decide to bridge this thing, which we may do. If we bridge this thing, especially if we extend it a little bit, we could get a bit of a nice little turn in here, and we can get a nice little rail junction in this spot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Once this is done, we'll move these guys over. That is looking awesome. That's looking pretty good. What we need to do is see about how we best get this to work. Yeah, so this goes back that way. If we were to plan that one, we were to do a little bit of this. Now the only question I have is, can we make this as a crossover work? We can. So from here you can go in either direction, and that's good. I like that idea. It makes that nice and clean. At the same time, what we would like to do is provide a little bit of room for some of our guys over here. Now this is where we're going to have a little bit of a dilemma. So if we were to say, go out that way, give me that. Excellent. So now if we were to okay, let's try that again. If we were to trim these back, let's trim them back there, and I'm gonna instead try and run this. There we go. We still need room for a. There's a few things we don't have here, right? Like a depot. We still need a depot in here. Now, we would also need to be able to run in the opposite direction. Okay, so we'll try and do that. That'll be pretty tight in terms of intersection. And then there's a little bit of room already on that track there. But the idea would be that we would need to get something like this out of the way. And to be honest, if we were to get it to do that, we could at the same time get something to do this. Okay, so if we were to do this, I'm actually, hang on, let's look at this. If we say get rid of that guy and change that, need to get rid of this. Okay, so how can we tie this in? Okay, if we try it from over here instead. Getting a little extreme here. That would be pretty good. And then from this side, could we... Yeah, this is going to be a little... Okay, it's a little tight here. So let's try that. We'll trim that back. We'll trim it back a little bit more. It doesn't need to be quite as long. So if we were to say we're running it out from this side first, doesn't want to allow that crossing at all. Yeah, it just doesn't want to do it. So if we were to say, just bring it out a little bit deeper, like that, okay, straighten this up a little, and we tight that in, that should be okay. Can we then also get this to work? We can. So there we go. So that's a little bit of a thing here. And what we'll do, as soon as you're around this edge, you flare up into 2, and you can have some parking room there to work with. So it's not super ideal, but it'll work. So that's the inbound movement. And this is the outbound movement, getting it from any one of those into others. So I think that'll work. We should... Oh, yeah, we definitely have room for multiple trains in here, at least even in the shorter varieties. Okay, that's pretty good, I think. Yeah, this is a little... Yeah, anyway, we'll make do. We'll make do with it. Okay, I think, guys, getting our rail planning nice and sorted. This is still slowly coming our way. We do need to get rail in here somehow. I do want to build a bridge in this location. Let's quickly go back and see how the progress is in Moshinovsk. How is this going? Done? Not done? Why? Why are we struggling as much as we're struggling? This is not moving at all. It is by no means. It's not even moving a little bit. Some of these paths are being built. But honestly, a lot of stuff is coming in, but it's just not... What is this? This is bringing in 0 stuff, right? Oh, you're coming to fill up. Okay, so that's not what we're after here. Really, we have nothing coming in? We do need to pick up on this, because this is somehow not really working for us, right? We have... how much gravel is that? We are at least seeing some concrete come in. That's good. Okay, we do need to step up our game a little bit, but I think the planning is going along quite nicely. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of this happening. What is our situation over here? I think we are seeing a lot of gravel in there. Are we out of gravel? Is that the issue? Don't seem to be out of gravel. These guys should be making gravel at quite a pace. So we should be okay with our gravel, really. We can do a lot of gravel works here. This guy is waiting on some bricks and some boards. Should have all of that ready to go. Yeah, we have boards available here. We've got bricks available there. Everybody should be doing their thing. We could probably do another construction office, maybe. Though I think most of our construction in this area is kind of done beyond just slow further expansions of the town. But I am happy to report that our money is looking very healthy at this point in time. We're over the 1 million rubles. We're almost up at $1 million. So we should be able to build some things like buy some blueprints and build some cars and the likes. And our infrastructure is slowly getting better, getting more and more infrastructure out there. We're managing our waste pretty effectively, and everybody seems to be reasonably happy, at least. Reasonably happy, reasonably healthy, and a large number of unemployed people so that we can continue to do good construction work. And now we're starting to see more and more of our infrastructure being planned. And it's starting to take shape. The Republic is starting to take shape. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.